Hello, everyone. Today is episode 4 of Self Help Skills and Advice with FASS placement student Ashton Mendez, which is me. And today's message will be well, instead of a message, it's actually more of a culmination of a bunch of useful tips that I think will be really, really helpful in sustaining our mental health throughout this COVID era that seems to be on everyone's nerves, including mine. Also, these tips are researched as well as things that I feel like are common sense, but also just good to have like a daily reminder of. So, tip number one is to communicate regularly. Even though you can either be on the introverted side or the extroverted side, regardless of that, we are social beings and humans do feel the need to communicate. Whether it's with our friends, our families, a random stranger, uh, anything helps. And again, these conversations can definitely add a sense of purpose to our day. Can kind of make us feel a little bit more human. And again, when you are talking with an individual, you kind of get to have a deeper insight into yourself. Whether you're having a deep conversation with someone, whether they're asking you questions about yourself, all these things again kind of lead up to the point that we need to communicate with other people because it can make a really big difference in our lives. Again, whether it's members, whether it's friends, and again, some people don't are very unfortunate in a sense where they don't have a lot of people, family wise or friends wise to talk to, and that's okay. There are talk centers that people can call into. For example, the I used to volunteer for a distress center called Spectra Helpline, and again, while it has the term distress center in the topic, I'll let you guys know that definitely most of the calls were not distress related and they were more so on a friendly level. So if you do feel the need to talk to someone just because of loneliness or boredom, definitely reach out. Again, I do not have the number on me right now, but if you search up Spectra Helpline on Google, the number will pop up. Definitely give him a call if you are feeling lonely. He can definitely help out. Tip number two is to structure your daily schedule. If you're like me, I know in the beginning of the lockdown, I had no structure to my day whatsoever, and I felt like an absolute zombie because I had nothing to do, nothing planned out. I kind of just felt like I was doing the exact same thing every single day with no sort of progress or productiveness, and that drove me crazy. Straight up, it really, really drove me crazy, and dare I say, it almost started to like deteriorate my mental health. So to kind of counteract that, every day before bed, I would schedule my day for the day, or schedule my day for the next day. Sorry, and what this kind of did was it gave me more of a purpose. It allowed me to develop new routines, and it generally reduced my stress because I had things to do, even though if it was like very very slight things like you know making breakfast, going for a walk, reading for an hour, stuff like that. Again, because even though a lot of people are at home with nothing to do, there is a lot of things that we can generally do. Just by using the internet or just by going for a walk outside. And again, it also kind of gives us a sense of like, you know, productiveness. When we kind of like look at our daily schedule and you realize, oh my gosh, I actually did everything on time. I got all my check marks for the day, and now I feel good about myself because I completed something. Tip number three is to separate our private and our professional lives at home. So, with a lot of people, working from home, even students doing school from home, it's very, very easy to get our private and our professional life mixed up. Whereas before, we kind of had separate domains to, get things done. Now it's all mixed together, and that can have some consequences. I know for me, it's very, very hard to do school when I have, a family that's very, very loud. Or even if I am, I've seen situations where people who are, very, very tense from work immediately outlash that on their family because again, there's no separation, there's no, drive home from work where they get to unwind. It's just boom, I'm done with my professional life, get thrown into my private life. Or some people even deal with both at the same time. If someone has a little child running around at home while they're trying to do a lecture, again, these things are very, very distracting, maybe even annoying. So, and while this may be easier said than done, try to really separate those lives even while you're at home. This can be done by like designating different areas or different time frames for each section. So maybe you get all your professional life stays in the basement. That's where you have your desk, because I know that's where I have my desk. And whenever you want to get back right into your private life, you go upstairs. Or maybe even after you're done your work, you kind of take 30 minutes to just unwind down in your professional spot and then go back upstairs to your family life. Again, everyone's situation is always going to be different, but these are just some suggestions. Tip number 4. Make sure you make time for daily relaxation and physical activity. So I won't lie, I'm a little bit of a workaholic myself, constantly juggling a full-time job and full-time school. And back in March, when I actually first got laid off from my job, I stopped working, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to feel productive. I don't feel productive because I'm not working anymore. COVID, the way I look at it, COVID is a very once in a lifetime situation. We're probably not going to actually get this time to relax and, just enjoy ourselves, trying to find ourselves or do things that we like and take time for ourselves the way, at least in this gravity, ever again, right? Because I know, like, even in March and April, I had 2 months fully to myself. And I kind of hated it, because I, wanted to do something. But then I realized, again, this is never going to happen again. I'm actually going to use this time to just do me. This is good. This is my little break in life, you know? So I kind of looked at it as that. I said, okay, I'm going to take this time for just relaxation. There's nothing wrong with that, because again, in a couple of years, we'll probably be back to just working nonstop and, constantly focusing on our future. But for now, let's focus on relaxation. With that, though, we should also remember to add physical activity into our schedule no matter what. And again, be creative, because just because we don't have a gym doesn't mean we can't work out. Even if you make a little small space in your garage, make a small space in your basement for activities, you don't really even need equipment. You can do body weight exercises, whether it's push-ups, whether it's sit-ups, things like that. Finding routines online, again, because the internet can be your best friend with things like this. So get creative, because again, there are tons of mental health benefits from exercising. Tip num Tip number 5. This is going to be our final tip for the day. Regulate how much news you watch. So lately, I've been feeling that the news has been a little more on the not really pessimistic, but more so on the negative side than the positive. Just with constant reports about how many cases there are in the world, how many deaths have been a result of those cases. Even politically, the news hasn't really been um, very positive, very optimistic. So this can genuinely affect your mood if you're constantly watching the news. You know what I mean? There's nothing if you don't see anything really positive on the news. That means there is nothing really positive going on in the world right now, and that can genuinely damage your mood. So again, I'm not saying that it's not good to be aware and updated, but just regulate how much news you watch. Maybe as soon as you start seeing reports on COVID updates, you kind of just turn it off because you already know that the cases are going to be high. So it's good to just not, remind yourself. But again, if you really, really like the news and you don't really feel your mood gets affected by it, then by all means, continue to watch. So these have been my tips, again, coming from both research and personal opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.